This video is a product buyer's guide intended for gift givers and adult collectors. Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
The second wave of Monster High's Boo-riginal Creeproduction dolls are here, featuring updated iterations of the original Ghoulia Yelps, Cleo Deuce Gorgon 2-pack, Spectra Vondergeist, and Abbey Bominable. Cleo, Deuce, and Ghoulia were originally released as part of the Signature line in 2010, while Spectra and Abbey debuted in 2011's Wave 2. Unlike the original Ghouls collection from 2014, which had quite a few tweaks, Creeproductions are, for the most part, pretty faithful recreations of the dolls, with a few subtle changes and more significant changes to the packaging, but more on that later. As many Monster High collectors know, obtaining the first wave of Creeproductions 2 years ago was stressful, to say the least. The dolls had limited rollouts to Walmart stores, rapid sellouts online, and to this day, they're still a challenge to obtain. Luckily, however, Wave 2 seems to have a more successful and relaxed rollout in the US, with stock lasting collective days across multiple online retailers, and some characters even restocking after initial sellout. International fans, however, were still left out in the cold, and these were still popular, so there were still some folks who missed out. How was your experience chasing the Wave 2 Creepros? Let us know in the comments. Today, we'll be sharing an in-depth review of Creeproduction Abbey Bominable, who just so happens to be my favorite character from Gen 1. I do also own her original release. I bought her at a doll shop years ago, and we'll be making comparisons to the differences throughout this review, but from inside her box, because I don't intend to open this one. Although, that very box was damaged in the process of filming this review. I'll share details on that later as well. Stay tuned. We'll cover everything you need to know about Creeproduction Abbey, how she looks posed next to her original, a few fun facts about the character, and much more, so keep on watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a moment of the adult collector perspective here on Toy Chat. Alright ghouls, let's get started.
We purchased all our Wave 2 Creeproductions from Amazon, priced at $24.99 each. They're sold out at this time of recording, and we're not sure what restocks will be like from here, but all characters' links will be in the video description to keep watch. The dolls are marked as Amazon exclusives, but they also receive a fan club exclusive pre-release through Mattel Creations. That's what was claimed in the emails anyways, but these dolls were actually listed and sold on Amazon first. Comments on Monster High's Instagram mentions availability through Walmart.com as well. Abbey's packaging looks very similar to her original release, but there's some notable differences. They both share a slim black box with a clear window display. The original's cutout that reads, "A warm heart in the dead of winter," instead reads Boo-riginal Creeproduction. The style and orientation of the Monster High logo at the right side is also quite different. But we have seen both versions of this logo used before. The Creeproduction release shows the brand's tagline, "Freaky just got fabulous," and it also sports a unique snowflake-shaped cutout at the upper right. The bottom of the original has a snowflake design and Abbey's name on the right side, while the Creepro has her name on the left and a cassette tape reading 14th December birthday mix. A big difference on the left side is, rather than a clear opening to the display, we see full body artwork and logo once again. There are simple graphic design differences on the right side. The top of the new Abbey box has a blurb in multiple languages reading, "I'm thinking scary cute, but annoying classmate may be fun for date." The original, meanwhile, simply has her name in black. The back of their boxes use the same artwork of Abbey, but as where the original shares a detailed character bio, the Creeproduction simply lists her age, favorite food, and BFFs. Does anyone else miss the freaky flaw concept? The bottom of the boxes look about the same, and they unbox the same way too. So let's take a closer look.
Here is Creeproduction Abbey Bominable out of box. It's really nice to finally have one to unbox. She sports purple eyeshadow, blood red lips, and the familiar toothy underbite. The screening of this version is very similar to the original. The main difference I notice is thicker eyebrows and a slight difference in eye size. Overall, I'd say the Creepro has a slightly softer look than the original. You'll notice they both have Abby's signature icy face, dusted in glitter, which spreads across her entire body. The distribution of glitter does feel different across these two versions. I think the original did a better job replicating ice with pretty even distribution of microglitter, but the Creepro seems to have a lighter, looser dusting. It's also possible this is just manufacturing variation. Abby wears a white faux fur headband over her hairline. The hair itself is her signature white with streaks of pink, teal, and lavender. I definitely notice a difference in this Abby's rooted tinsel. I know hair tinsel is really controversial in the doll world, but something I liked about G1 Abby was that her tinsel had a bit of texture to it that didn't seem to stray or tear quite as easily as the cheaper, more standardized tinsel I think we see more commonly today. This Abby's tinsel reminds me of the Party City kind. It's pretty thin and iffy to brush through, very prone to flyaways. We'd heard online that there's allegedly variants of Creeproduction Abbey with what looks like the more textured tinsel, but Sang and I both ordered her on Amazon and ours look the same. Abby's earrings are once again a blue drop crystal and pink snowflake, respectively.
Just like her original release, Abby wears an adorable sleeveless sweater dress with a faux fur collar and white trim. There's a colorful crystalline design printed across the whole thing, and even more white trim detailing on each side of the torso. String ties are sewn onto the dress, and they wrap all around from top to bottom. Abby keeps her black compact belt bag at her hip, and a tiny skullet key dangles off the side. This fastens on with plastic bands, so be aware that it can fall off easily. Abby wears matching white fur arm warmers over her forearms. Just look at her sparkly claws. She has on a pair of sheer leggings to wear under her dress, and just over that is a long pair of fur leg warmers. Her platform boots are pure white with intricate lace and texture sculpting. Those soles are ready for the snow. It can be easy to miss under the fur, but Abby also wears a translucent blue crystal necklace secured with plastic ties. We didn't notice any significant differences in the original and Creeproduction Abby's outfits. Some of the colors do seem lighter, also on Abby accessories, but we aren't sure if it's just manufacturing variation. Abby is on the standard Gen 1 body, so she has the same proportion and articulation as Gen 1 dolls. Here we have Abby's pet, Shiver. She's once again a baby woolly mammoth with cute little tusks and painted details. From what we can tell, the sculpt is identical to the original.
Abby comes with a classic Monster High display stand, and just like the original, it comes in baby blue. If you look closely, it does have a slight sparkle. She has a classic Monster High brush to match. I have so many versions of these sitting in storage. Finally, we have her diary, which in the original releases was a great way to get to know the characters. It's actually just 6.5 pages total. Everything after that is translation in French. We'll show every page here. Feel free to slow or pause if you'd like to read in full. In the story, we learn Headmistress Bloodgood was a longtime family friend of the Bominables and helped Abby get into Monster High. Abby's original freaky flaw was a lack of tact, so she can come off blunt to her schoolmates, and this was a hurdle to overcome as a new student. We also learn a bit about Abby's abilities, which include super strength and, of course, cryokinesis, or control over ice. The story ends with a tease of the beginning of her relationship with Heath Burns, a very iconic opposites attraction. Shout out to Poison Ivy Dolls on Instagram for sharing that the Creeproduction diary is missing the About Me section of the original version. They also shared that Creepro Abbey's screening more closely resembles the Chinese variant of the original more so than the Indonesian version. Alright, here are our final thoughts on Booriginal Creeproduction Abbey Bominable.
As you guys know, we didn't get into Monster High until a little bit later in the original lifespan, so we missed out on the original run of these dolls. I did, however, go back and collect some of the Wave 1 of Monster High releases, as well as those Creeproductions. I don't have any of the original releases of these Wave 2 characters. Creeproductions have been a great way for newer collectors to get their hands on some of these past releases without breaking the bank. The first wave was incredibly successful, and I'm glad to see them continue producing more of these, and with a much easier distribution method. I hope they continue reproducing more dolls, and I want to see Wave 3 with Rochelle, Venus, and Rebecca. Let's make that happen, Mattel.
So, a fun fact about our filming process is that it's a lot of back and forth with various photo shoots, rotating footage, etc. So sometimes things can happen. As I mentioned earlier, I do own the original 2011 Abbey, but in our filming process, she briefly ended up on the floor, and while maneuvering around the tripod, I stumbled and stepped directly on her box. It's visibly damaged, but intact, more or less, and the doll is fine. I was horrified when this first happened. I've kind of processed it since then, but that incident made me even more grateful I have a backup Gen 1 Abbey. It's become very clear the original ghouls mean something very special to a lot of collectors, so it's definitely nice these reimagined re-releases are occurring. Creepro Abbey is beautiful. I'm so glad to have one to unbox. Maybe I should just unbox my original at this point, but as I said, Abby was my OG favorite, and it's a delight to have her back at an affordable price point. Obviously, however, the Creeproduction rollouts have been not so delightful for many fans, particularly international collectors. So my only real critique of these would be the lack of broader availability, which does seem to have improved slightly from Wave 1, sincerely hoping that continues into future waves, which we definitely need. This is a total treat for Gen 1 fans when it's rolled out properly. So what are your thoughts on the second wave of Booriginal Creeproductions? Definitely let us know in the comments below. Our full Monster High playlist will be linked on screen here. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Let us know what you want to see reviewed next, and we'll see you next time. Bye.